Hi, welcome to Palais Soulful Fusion. I'm Chef Aaron.
And I'm Chef Victoria.
And for today's menu appetizer, we're going to have a goat cheese fritter on a bed of arugula with tomato onion jam.
And for our entree, we're going to have a coffee rub steak made with Cafe El Moro coffee, our sponsor for today, a home-style mash, and a veggie medley.
All right, let us break this down and we'll be right back to cook for you. Welcome back to Palais Soulful Fusion, where we're about to start the dredge and coating for our goat cheese fritters.
All right, so on the plate here, I have some flour, I have eggs, and I have breadcrumbs. So this appetizer is going to go by really, really quickly. We are only just frying goat cheese. Our tomato onion jam we made up ahead of time. Very simple. Just tomatoes, onions, some brown sugar, lemon juice, salt, pepper, and garlic. Let that stew down till it comes up to like a jam consistency. I'm going to beat up my eggs. While that's happening, my oil is heating through. I'm going to start to dredge our goat cheese. So, simple process. Cut your goat cheese to about this thickness. This is going to help it hold. The flour is not seasoned or anything like that. A lot of our flavor is going to come from the taste of the goat cheese itself, and then our tomato onion jam.
How would you explain the flavor of goat cheese?
Goat cheese is a very strong, pungent taste, but the cheese itself is very creamy. So the tomato onion jam pairs very, very well with it. You get the strongness from the cheese, you get the punginess, you get the sweetness from the jam. I am going to double coat. So in the breadcrumbs, we're going to go back into the eggs, and then we're going to go back into the breadcrumbs.
And that gives you a good seal, so when you're frying, the goat cheese will not spoil out.
So you always want to make sure, as Aaron said, this is thoroughly coated. Again, we are frying cheese, so think about it like a mozzarella stick. You want it to be thoroughly coated. As with anything that you are breading, sit it to the side. So then that way, it'll give your batter, your coating, some time to actually adhere to whatever it is that you're coating. We're just going to do a couple of these. Again, we are double dredging.
As she's doing that, I'm going to grab a plate because we are frying, so we will need to be draining.
And as I always state, you can always give your grease the test. You can either do it with flour, you can do it with water. Just make sure your grease is up to temp. If you do have a thermometer, please stick the thermometer in. 325, between 325 and 350 is good for frying this goat cheese.
Like you said, it will cook up fast.
Yes, and you really just want a nice golden outside. And I'm going to do 3 of these.
Take a bunch of breadcrumbs. Let's see how it fried up. Grease is ready.
Alright. And so cook time is literally extremely fast, as I stated. 2-3 minutes max.
Yeah.
See any spots that is not coated, please go back in and make sure it's a good seal that's around your goat cheese. This aids in the crispiness, and again, so none of the cheese actually leaks out while we're frying. So Aaron's going to go in with the goat cheese. Start with the first one that I did, so that one had time to set up. Go in. I'm going to clean up. So you want a nice golden exterior.
Little small movements, not too much, just to make sure everything is good.
You show how that's going. Nice golden consistency. We'll let that go for another second. Give us a moment. We'll be back with plating. Alright, and we're back. Aaron is taking the goat cheese fritters out of the oil. As with anything that you are frying, when it comes out of the grease, you automatically want to salt it. We're going to let that drain. I'm going to break out my plate. So we're going to start with a bed of arugula. I love arugula, this nice peppery bite that comes behind it. It pairs so well with the goat cheese. So you think about this like just a little salad. We're not going to dress this with no oil or anything like that because we want to leave this as a base. We're going to come in with our goat cheese fritters. These look amazing. And we're going to come right on top with our tomato onion jam. Nice little dollop. Just take that right across. And then we're going to end this off with some balsamic glaze. Now you can make a balsamic glaze if you choose to. We literally just went and bought one.
Well, how would you make a balsamic glaze?
Take some balsamic vinegar, some sugar, and just literally reduce it down. Get a little jazzy drizzle across the top.
That looks delicious.
And there you have it. Goat cheese fritters with tomato onion jam on a bed of arugula and balsamic glaze.
All right, we'll be right back to start our entree.
Hey friends, welcome back. We are about to start our entree. Again, our entree is going to be a coffee rub steak made with El Moro Cafe coffee. They are a sponsor for today. So I'm going to glove up. I'm going to season our steak. So our coffee rub has the Cafe El Moro coffee, some brown sugar, some cumin, some garlic, our Medi blend, our all-purpose seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper. That's a quick and simple, easy coffee rub that you can make, and you can utilize this coffee rub across any type of red meat. You can do it on chicken, you can do it on steak. If you wanted to use some quail or something like that, it pairs well. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on our steak. Aaron's going to hit a little bit of olive oil in the pan. And I'm going to come in with our rub. You want to season this heavy. Be very generous with this rub. That coffee is going to caramelize. It's going to sear. You want all of the seasonings to adhere to the steaks. We are using ribeyes today.
Okay. So what kind of flavor does the coffee give me?
It kind of gives it like a smoky flavor. Just depending on the other herbs and stuff that you pair it with, the other seasonings, that char on there, it just makes it really, really good. A lot of times people like to pair coffee and chocolate. We could have easily added some cocoa to this, make this pan gravy that'll be red eye gravy. So you see how this is seasoned? This is pretty much how we want it to look. I'm gonna pass this over to Aaron.
We want our pan extremely hot, so we gonna get a good sear and seal in all the juices. So you're looking for a certain sound, that right there.
While that is going, I am going to start the vegetables for our veggie medley. So inside of the pan here, I'm going to start with a little bit of oil. Let that heat through. I have some onions and peppers. I'm going to put that in. I have a little bit of carrots.
Now as you put your steak in the pan, do not touch it for at least 3 to 4 minutes. You want that crust and sear to build up. If you move this meat around, it will not get it.
I just added in some cauliflower and some broccoli. I do have some zucchini and squash, but I will add that in a little bit later just because these vegetables take a lot longer to cook than the zucchini and squash. We don't want our zucchini and squash to be mush. We still want them to retain some of their texture. I'm going to hit with a little bit of our Medi seasoning and then a little bit of our garlic and herb seasoning. Stir that around, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to aid in the tenderness with these vegetables since they are hard vegetables. All right. While that is going, I did have a pot in the back that's heating up some cream for our mashed potatoes. I had some heavy cream, some butter, some of our Medi blend, some of our garlic and herb blend, just a little bit of salt and pepper. Work that up to temp, and I'm going to put that into our mashed potatoes. So, potatoes in the bowl.
Okay, my steak is ready to flip. I'm gonna show you the sear before I flip it. That's beautiful.
So Aaron, what's the temperature you like for your steaks to be on?
Me personally, I'm roughly a medium well, so 145-ish, a little bit of pink. I know a lot of people like the 138, 140, but me, I'm a little more of just a little pink. How about yourself?
I am a medium well. I will do medium depending on the cut. So my fillets, I like them at medium. Ribeyes, New York strips, I can do those medium well. I've never been the person who like rare steak. That's just not my forte. But we do have a lot of people who like their steak rare. So this is your preference. You can cook your steak however, to whatever temp it is that suits you. So my pot here with my cream, just to show you guys, it has came up to temp. I am actually going to whip these potatoes. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of my cream. My potatoes, I boiled them, did them up ahead of time. And then I'm going to come in with my hand mixer. So you want to start, just break them down some. These are chunky potatoes. You could cut them as big or as small as you want. You could have even done this with baking the potato. I like when you bake potatoes and make mash, it gives it a whole different flavor. So we're going to start.
Me, I'm over here feeling like a DJ with these two pots going at the same time. But my vegetables are softening up nice, and so is my steak searing off nice. So this one is done. I have a good sear on this side and on this side. Just like all meats, you want to let them rest. I think this one can go just a little bit more.
So you can whip your potatoes to however you want them to be. If you want them to be chunky, you can have them chunky. If you like them to be very smooth, just keep whipping them till they get to a smooth consistency.
One more minute on this side, and then my steaks will be done and resting.
If you feel as though that you need to add more liquids, you can. Always have some of your liquid reserved off to the side. Do not add it all in at one time. Remember, we can always add, but we cannot take away. So gradually just add your liquid in.
And now my second steak is done. Let that one rest as well. Vegetables are almost ready to get the rest added in.
All right, I'm going to let that sit for a second. We're going to come right back in now with our zucchini and squash. And it's still a little bit of liquid that's left in there. We're going to let that evaporate out with the finishing of the cook process. Again, we're going to come back across with a little bit more seasoning because we did just add in some new veggies.
And we season at every step.
We're going to let that go. Excuse me. Now we're going to come in and taste our potatoes. This is where you can gauge for your seasoning, see if you need to add more seasoning or if you over season. I'm going to add in a little bit more of our Medi, a little bit more of our garlic and herb, and just a tad bit more of our cream. We're going to mix this through, finish cooking off our vegetables, and we'll be back with plating.
Welcome back to Palais Soulful Fusion, where we're about to start our plating. Before we start plating, I'm going to take my vegetables and add a tablespoon of butter just to finish them off.
While that's happening, I'm going to take our mash. I'm going to plate these up. I am a person who like my mash to be a little chunky. So a nice big helping in the middle will suffice. We're going to come in with a piece of our steak. Again, our steak has rested. So if you wanted to make like a pan gravy, you could with the juices that has came off of the steak. These juices will make an awesome pan gravy. Then we're going to come in with some of our vegetables with our veggie medley. I think that is a good amount of veggies. Give me a couple pieces of that broccoli. And then we're going to top with a little bit of scallions and cilantro. And there you have it. This was our coffee rub steak with Cafe El Moro coffee, home style mash, and a veggie medley.
Thank you. Hi, welcome back to Palais Soulful Fusion, where we finished our menu for today. For the appetizer, we made a goat cheese fritter on a bed of arugula with tomato onion jam and a balsamic glaze.
And for our entree, we had a coffee rub steak with our sponsor's coffee, Cafe El Moro, a home style mash, and a veggie medley. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Catch us next time. As always, if you want to purchase our products, our seasonings, our oils, our butters, our sauces, you can find them at www.palaissoulfulfusion.com. Until next time.